Time for another Euro 2024 debate. It's the final debate. It's got Paul Robinson, it's got Neil Mellor, it's got me, David Easson, and we're talking a look back on Euro 2024. Paul's in the studio with me over there.
Hello.
We're looking in the right direction. It's weird.
Change seats, but different.
We've got Neil. I'm going to go to Neil first and just say, have you enjoyed this tournament? Has it been good for you?
Loved it. Absolutely. I enjoy my football. There's been reasons to criticise it and not enjoy it, but I've enjoyed seeing it. I've enjoyed some of the games, some of the terrible decisions, some of the good goals, some of the boring football. It's just been an international football tournament which has given me a lot of enjoyment. And what we have to remember is international football is completely different to the domestic football. It's like a different sport completely. But I have enjoyed it, and England are in the final, so it's kept my my hopes that my nation can win it.
And we look back on it, Paul, and we think, well, I like a tournament, occasional games that go a bit wild, and we've seen some. You get them in every tournament, and it's where you go, oh, this is what it's all about. This is why we kind of come together every 2 years to have some international football tournaments. But there's been a couple of really, really good games in this.
There has, yeah, but I slightly disagree with the whole aspect of the tournament. I've not particularly. You look back on tournaments, obviously, when you're a child and you've got childhood memories, and you look back. I look back at Euro '96. And I can recall certain games, players, the way that the games played and the way that games played out. And I'm thinking about this tournament. You're looking back, there's not that many games, especially from an England point of view, where you look back and basically what I'm saying is it's not going to live long in the memory, the performance, unless England win it, the certain games. But as you say, during the tournament, there has been a couple of standout moments. I mean, Lamine Yamal, his goal in the semi-final against France was incredible. And there's been some standout players. But as for team performances, and memorable games, I mean, we're going to pick the bones out of it now. But compared to other tournaments, I don't think it's going to live long in the memory, unless, of course, England lift the trophy.
Unless. And for the rest of the world, it's definitely won't live long in the memory if England win it, but we'll see. Some of those games, early on, Neil, Turkey against Georgia was the one for me that you suddenly realised this is a tournament, and there's two teams really going at it, and I think Turkey all the way through really threw everything at every game.
I was fuming, a back 2-1, and Georgia were knocking on the door. So they should have had an equaliser in the game, but the Turkey goalie made a couple of good saves, missed a few chances. The Georgia goalkeeper was up to get the equaliser, and Turkey went down the other end and scored, which was 30 seconds over the 4 added. So I was a little bit annoyed by that one.
It's a minimum, Nick. We say it every week. It's a minimum number of minutes. Come on.
At least it's not bothered him, though.
No, this will live long in his memory.
Yeah, easily forgotten. But yeah, I mean, to be fair to Turkey and Georgia, they've been two sides who've had a go. They were really good to watch. I mean, Georgia, we didn't really know what to expect. Got through the group. Nobody expected that. So they were really good to watch. And so were Turkey. You know, Turkey were a side who had lots of attacking threats. We know there's going to be a big future for Güler, obviously young lad at Real Madrid at the moment. But yeah, I think this tournament will be remembered for some of the young talent. Yeah. Who in 4 or 5 years' time we're going to go, God, that was when
the next
really
generation of players come through, haven't they? They really have.
Yeah. Güler's one of them from Turkey, and obviously you've got the Musiala at Germany, Florian Wirtz at Germany. So these are players I think we'll see a lot more of.
He just wanted to get them all out for the last time, didn't he? He's getting his
good run up for Florian Wirtz.
His player Tourette's. He's just getting them out in the last one.
So let's talk about players then, and the German-wide players, forward players. You've got Arda Güler as well, of course, for Turkey. Very young player. Lamine Yamal, of course, incredibly young going into this, getting his goal as well. What a goal it was. But it does feel as if we're into the next generation, and possibly the next World Cup, the next Euros will be something to look forward to.
Well, I mean, you look at Lamine Yamal, 16 years old. I mean, dread to think. I don't tell you what we were doing at 16. His age. He took his books to the Euros to do his GCSEs or the equivalent of. I mean, it's incredible. And I think we spoke about it before, but the fact that Navas played right back behind him in the semi-final, and he's older than his dad. Navas was 38 and Lamine Yamal's dad's 34. So, I mean, it just puts context. I mean, I've got kids older than him. My son's the same age as him. My daughter's older than him. It's frightening. And Williams as well. And you look at that generation of players. And you talk about Lamine Yamal at his club, and I was listening to, I think it was Jordi Cruyff on an outlet the other day, and they were saying that the manager wanted to play him at 15, but the club stopped him playing because they didn't feel like they had enough support, as in with his contract. He basically wasn't in concrete that other people couldn't look at him and make him offers to have his head turned. So the club actually stopped, I think it was Xavi, the manager, playing him at 15. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? He was that good.
If Xavi thinks you're good at 15,
yeah,
you're not doing too bad.
The Barcelona board have turned around and gone, no, you're not playing him because we haven't got enough contract security. I mean, at 15, you obviously can't sign them on pro contracts, can you?
You can't. And then on the other side, Williams for Spain, Neil. Again, a different kind of player, a player we think will probably move this summer, may well come to the Premier League. But again, all the way through the tournament, there did seem to be this new kind of glut of wide players. What there hasn't been is maybe a proper number 9 centre forward.
Goal scorer. I mean, got Cody Gakpo, Golden Boot. Who'd have thought that?
Well, he's not going to win the Golden Boot, is he? Because Olmo and Kane are still in a position to win it. I think they've got more assists. Olmo's got more assists as well, so Gakpo can't win it, I don't think. But yeah, he's been in the mix. But yeah, I mean, Williams has done well. He's obviously going to be highly sought off this summer because his buyout clause is low compared to what the market is. So I think 50-odd million for a player like that is value. I think
runs out next week, though. They're going to have to be quick. It runs out next week.
Yeah. So, but again, he'll be in demand. I'd be surprised if he stayed at Bilbao. He may well stay there, I'm not sure. But
he's on a lot of money at Bilbao. Part of his problem is that they spent a lot on his wages. He's on a lot, but people will be throwing money at him now, won't they?
Premier League club can match that without a problem. But yeah, as much as we talked about these young players, also the last tournament for a Modric, a Cruz, Ronaldo, it is his last tournament, isn't it? Unless he decides to play and manage the next one.
Well, it depends what he tells the manager he's doing, doesn't it?
But again, they've been great players, haven't they? Domestically and also on the international scene. So sad to see them bow out, but the new generations come through.
Tony Cruz is one, isn't he? I mean, you must be impressed with him, Neil. You watching him play. At his age, I think he's still got so much more to give.
I'm amazed he's giving up.
I mean, you look at Ronaldo and you think, yeah, okay, time's up on international football. The way that Portugal played, he almost became a labour of love towards the end of the tournament, and they played better without him, you could argue. But Tony Cruz, I mean, he made that German team tick.
I know. I'm surprised. I feel as though he's a little bit too young, but he's had enough. I don't really know what's going on with his body, but he seems to have played a lot of games. But he's had enough, and what a player he has been. Even Modric, Modric, nearly 40, has given absolutely everything and created Croatia as a force on the international scene. Okay, not this time, but have been in previous tournaments because of his ability. So yeah, the future is bright with these young players. And Bellingham as well. Don't forget, Bellingham's only 21, so he's still a young player. Saka 22, 23.
Could be Mainu who's now a starter for England.
And we go through the whole team. Saka, Foden, Mainu, Bellingham. Declan Rice isn't exactly old. Gay as well at the back. And you look at the squad and the bench that England have got. There could be a clamour for Gareth Southgate to stay on and work with this squad if he wins this tournament. They really could.
And the other question we may come to is, if he doesn't, who gets this squad next time out? Who gets to be the New England manager if we need it?
I think that's the thing. The FA have come out today in the UK and they've said that they would like Gareth to stay on after this tournament, regardless of what goes on. Because genuinely, I don't think there is a natural shoe-in. I mean, you look at the French team, Deschamps, if he moves on after this 12 years, I think it is.
He's staying.
There's calls for him to move on because he signed a new deal, didn't he? And the new president's come in. But with the French FA, there's Zidane, he's there in the waiting. It's just a natural shoe-in. Whereas in the UK at the moment, there's no natural predecessor to Gareth Southgate. The debate would open, but there's nobody sat in the wings waiting, is there?
Give it Pep. Why not give it Pep Guardiola? See what he can do with that squad.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it, to see England have an elite manager? Whether it's an Ancelotti, somebody like that who has really achieved big things with top players. I feel as though England really haven't had that, so that would be interesting. Before the tournament, if England didn't get in the final or win it, it was a failure. There's no two ways about it. If they lost in the quarters or the semi, it wasn't good enough. England are now in the final. It gives the FA that opportunity, that excuse to say, we'll stick with Gareth Southgate. The football's been awful to watch. We have to remind ourselves of that. But is he an elite manager? Is he a good manager, a good coach? He certainly had a little bit of luck along the way with draws and certain results.
But you'd probably say, who in the tournament has an elite manager? They're not in international football. Deschamps, you could say, based on his record of winning things, but no, we've all watched France and gone, well, they've got some great players, but they don't play sparkling football either.
Does this make Gareth an elite manager?
Yeah.
Because what you got to say to him, or you say about him, is the criticism he's had, the way that the team's played, he hasn't budged. He's done it his way. He had a plan for this tournament, and regardless of what anybody else has said, he's done it his way. Yeah, early rounds, the early games, England stunk the place out. Everyone's talking about the way that they play. They can't keep playing like this. And I think that debate will continue if England don't lift the trophy. but actually the trophy takes everything away. And I think there's one thing you can say about Gareth Southgate: he's consistent. He's consistent with his selection, he's consistent with his results, and he's consistent at getting this team deep into tournaments. Love or loathe him, he's done a fantastic job in the last 4 tournaments.
And if you're watching this before or after the final, that argument still stands whatever happens.
Regardless, it'll be a debate that's open for a while.
As a wider footballing, just to finish on, because we're talking about the big teams. Big teams might play better football. I don't know. People are saying that the Guardiola effect has rippled through to some teams. They all play the same way, but there's still teams who put up a block and sit back in world football, Neil. But there's also others now who, the ones we remember from tournaments, are the ones who have a go. So your Georgias, your Turkeys. Austria possibly in a bit more organised way, but they play a style of football which is still attacking. It's kind of that RB way. Will international football, is that changing? Are we losing the sides who are just going to shut up shop?
I hope so. But like you say, I mean, the tournament will look favourably on those teams that have had a go, in terms of Turkey, in terms of Georgia and Austria. Really enjoyed watching them. I mean, Austria probably feel a little bit hard done by, didn't get further than they did. I thought Turkey got as far as perhaps they would have expected, and certainly Georgia exceeded that expectation. Yeah, I haven't enjoyed some of the boring styles of football. I think the Swiss have certainly got to come into that. You know, the way that they've played, it was awful to watch. Poland as well, you know, Czech Republic. You expect a lot more from Czech Republic. So, yeah, I mean, there were some real dull approaches to football, but it's difficult in international football. These players don't play often together. They all come together, piece together, and expect it to click. And sometimes it just doesn't. So, yeah, but I remember the teams that I've had to go in this tournament and enjoyed watching them.
I think what we're getting better players worldwide. You look at all the teams here, and you look at the likes of Georgia, you look at the likes of Austria, where not necessarily you would have household names playing for them, but there's the 3 or 4 players playing in each of these teams, maybe more, that are playing in the top leagues across Europe, whether it be Serie A, whether it be La Liga or the Premier League. I think there's players in these teams now that the quality is definitely improving, and I think that's one big thing. There's no so-called, well, of course we're always going to have underdogs, but I think the gap is closing. No more teams come in and just saying, look, all we're going to do is defend and going to try and make it hard for you. These teams will have a game plan, they'll be tactically aware, and they'll have players who can also hurt you on the flip side.
So another tournament passes us by, and we'll see, as we record this, slightly ahead of the final, to see who actually takes the trophy. But we'll certainly miss Neil Mellor's pronunciations. I was going to ask him about the Georgian left winger. Plays for Napoli.
Oh, yeah. Wait
till we finish on a big one?
PSG. He's going PSG, isn't he?
He is. Who is he? I can't prod him anymore. It just looks like bullying now, doesn't it? It's terrible. I shouldn't be doing this to him. Kvaratskhelia. There we go. Just say Florian Wirtz again for me. We can finish.
The Napoli lad.
Florian Wirtz. Thank you, gentlemen, for your opinions, your thoughts, and the laughs along the way. It's been Euro 2024. That's your debate, and that's your tournament review all done. See you next time.